Let me set the scene for you. It's just before WWDC last year, and the 2019 iMacs are the best of the best you can get off Apple, and you needed an upgrade. This is what you got back here. This, my friends, right here is the 27-inch 5K Retina iMac from 2019. How does it stack up in 2020? And why did we buy a 2019 iMac? Why didn't we just sell it after the Silicon Macs came out? I'll talk to you about that in this review. Okay, firstly, back there, that display, it's quite impressive, okay? It's a 5K display, no slouch by any means. It's a joy to watch content on it and consume content and make content. It's the best. Like, when you have the 27 inches, it's great compared to my measly 21-inch iMac, which isn't bad, and it's way easier to carry. For example, right here, we're going to do a carry test, right? And then we go to the 27 inch. Oh, it's heavy. Yeah, this is heavy. Let me put this down now before I drop it. So that's what I mean. More portable. If you have a 21 inch. Portable. Because it's definitely not as portable as getting an iPad or a laptop. Like, if I go back here and I grab my laptop, you'll see how different portability is. I mean, this is a laptop. Something that you will not have on this is portability, you know. You can't bring this on the train. You can't bring it on a bus traveling. This you can probably bring everywhere. But we've already raved enough about this laptop, so let's just put this down. Next is the specs. This is an i5 with a terabyte SSD and 8 gigabytes upgraded to 24 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes. You can upgrade the RAM in this thing, which is a big selling point. The screen's massive. The webcam, it's mediocre. As with all webcams nowadays, that's just not a surprise to anyone who's worked with an iMac before. You know the webcams are atrocious. And yet we still put up with it. Weird. When it comes to Final Cut performance, this thing is a champ. The thing does run really well. And this was around the time that it started really picking up with the iMac Pros. This really was the time it started picking up with the iMac Pros. And of course the 2020 model, you saw that it was pretty impressive. I mean, back when this was announced, right here, the late 2015 21-inch iMac, the I/O we got was pretty revolutionary for the time. We got a headphone jack, a microphone jack combo port. We got an SD card slot, 4 USB 3.0 ports, Thunderbolt 2 ports, and of course, a gigabit Ethernet port. Of course, we also got a Kensington lock. On the back iMac here, I can't pick that up obviously, we also got 4 Thunderbolt ports. We also got a USB 3.0 ports. We got gigabit Ethernet. We also got a Kensington lock. We got 2 USB-C Thunderbolt ports with this iMac, which was pretty good for the time. Of course, better iMacs, better specs, you know. Of course, this was also announced before they implemented 10 gig Ethernet into the iMac lineup, which is now a standard feature. Why did we buy it though? Why did we buy a Intel Mac literally weeks after the announcement of Apple Silicon? Well, I'll tell you. You see, a lot of what this iMac was used for, It's not used for heavy intensive video processing. It's a family computer that is really just there, gets the job done. Apple Silicon's great, but the reality of it is the iMacs were never getting Apple Silicon first. They're going to come in 2021. So I'd hold off now, but not necessarily when this was announced. When this was announced, this was the best you can get. And the 2020 models were announced a couple of months after. But this is the thing with technology. If you always wait, you're never going to be on the bleeding edge, because there's always something new coming out. You are never going to be the best. You know, you're never going to have the best unless you're always constantly switching it out. And the reality of this is, we got this late 2015 iMac when it came out. It's the base, Core i5, Terabyte Fusion drive, 8 gigs of RAM. That was the best that we could get at the time. Now, this was the best we could upgrade to. And when it comes to price, performance and all that, the reality of it is Apple will probably have an XDR display embedded in their displays, so it's going to be more expensive. And is it really necessary for you to the bleeding edge of technology? Like, this thing is going to get software updates. It's going to get, macOS Weed or whatever they call it, the next one. It's going to get it all. But if you are always waiting for the newest, the latest, the greatest, you'll never have that. It's only when you start accepting the reality, technology is constantly changing. And Apple Silicon, it's great. I'm not going to be the one to bash it. I love it. But if you're going to want an iMac now, would I still recommend the 2019 iMacs? Because you can still get a pretty good deal on them if you look. Obviously third party, because Apple isn't selling them anymore. They want you to buy the one with the nano texture display and all that. Yeah, go for it. If you think you can make use of this, I think it's a really good buy for anyone who wants to, get a really nice 5K display, or just something that can really go for the power. I mean, compared to this, which was the best I got at the time and the best I could afford when I was looking for an iMac, this thing, we've gone leaps and bounds since this thing was a piece of new technology. And we're also gone to the point where a laptop is better than that. That's how technology changes. And if you are constantly waiting for the newest thing, you'll never be happy. That's the reality of it. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing, because it really helps out the channel a lot. Comment, let me know what you think in the video in the comment section. Do you run a 27-inch iMac? Do you use a 21-inch iMac like me? Or maybe, do you use a laptop? All that and more. I'm Connor, and I'll catch you next one.